Tinubu and Ganduje should not play with fire in Kano. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post hot juicy news updates. Please click on the notification bell. In a predictable, premeditated and carefully choreographed judicial charade, the Court of Appeal on Friday upheld the verdict of the Kano State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal that reversed the electoral triumph of NNPP's Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State. I sincerely hope this assault on justice is not a spark that ignites an inferno in Kano and in the country. The signs had been evident since early October that a predetermination had been made that irrespective of the facts, the flawed, preplanned judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal must be preserved at all costs. For example, on October 6th, the head of the legal department of INEC in Kano State by the name of Sulaiman Al-Khali wrote a curious letter stating that INEC, which had declared NNPP's Yusuf as the validly elected winner of the governorship election in Kano, was no longer interested in defending its declaration. I have been instructed by the Commission headquarters that INEC as an empire has no reason to appeal any judgment, he wrote. Consequently, the National Commission in charge of Legal Services and National Commissioner in charge of Kano Zone directed that the appeal be withdrawn and all processes for all appeals should be forwarded to the Kano office. In response to the jolts and outrage that the letter generated, Sam Olumeku, INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, said Al-Khali was not authorized to write the letter, pointing out that the letter had since been withdrawn and the officer reprimanded. We were not told the nature of the reprimand because it was a lie. That was exactly what played out when INEC acted in cahoots with Ahmad Lawan to steal APC's Bashas Makina Yobe North Senatorial District primary win, which the Supreme Court affirmed in a shameless show of what I call judicial banditry. Retired Justice Musa Datijo Mohammed quoted his colleague quotations of my abrasive censure of the Supreme Court in his parting shots at his colleague, even though he and his colleague did not give me credit and slightly misquoted me. I said in a February 6th article titled Lawan and Supreme Court of Shameless Judicial Bandits that Nigerian Supreme Court is, without a doubt, a rotten gaggle of useless, purchasable judicial bandits. The highest bidder gets the judgment. Dachijo used voter where I used rotten. Anyway, on September 5th, 2022, an INEC lawyer by the name of Onyechi Ipazo's son had filed an affidavit to the Federal High Court to discredit the result of its own election that had declared Makina as the winner of Yobe North APC senatorial primary election. In the aftermath of the shock and fury that attended this, Festus Okoye, at the time INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus repudiated Ipazo's affidavit and said, I quote, "The Commission will review its quality assurance protocol, including the preview by appropriate ranking officials of all processes filed on its behalf to ascertain their correctness in all material particulars with all reports and all information at its disposal before their presentation, so that a situation like this is not repeated." Well, that situation was repeated in Kano in October this year, almost exactly a year later. It seems to be a well-practiced pattern. INEC first flies a kite, see how high it flies, then crashes it. But the whole point is to prepare the minds of the public for what is being hatched so as to minimize the shock value when it finally materializes. If the outcome of the Ahmed Lawan and Bashar Makina case is any guide, it means INEC is deeply complicit in Ganduje's chinachary and plot to steal Yusuf governorship. It might also mean that the judicial bandits I talked about at the Supreme Court are waiting in the wings to feast on another stolen electoral dinner. I hope I am wrong. The second indication that this appeal court judgment was a war-rehearsed theater came when the appeal court completed its deliberation on November 6th, but deferred its judgment until November 17, and then requested that security be heightened in Kano in anticipation of the publicizing of its judgment. Only people in a dry run for the abortion of justice asked for anticipatory protection from their potential victims. As I pointed out in my September 23, 2023 column titled Why the Kano Verdict Cannot Stand, it is apparent that former Kano State Governor and current APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje has resolved to damn all consequences and use the federal might at his disposal to wrest the power that his party and his flunky lost to Rabiu Kwankwaso and his son-in-law in the governorship election. APC appears intent to get back through judicial manipulation what it lost through the ballot box. I wrote, it is a higher order, more sophisticated and less primitive version of the broad day electoral haste they perpetuated in 2019 after former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje lost to the same Abba Yusuf. In a definite disregard for potentially untoward consequences, Ganduje, of course, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's blessing, has decided to pull all strings to snatch judicial victory from the jaws of electoral defeat. As I will show shortly, both the election tribunal and the appeal court are not even pretending to be fair in their judgment. They have already been handed a verdict and mandated to fish for evidence to justify it. The verdict, of course, is that NNPP's Abba Yusuf must go and must be replaced by APC Nasiru Gawuna. In rhetorical studies, we call that finalism, that is the conclusion in search of evidence. Psychologists call it motivated reasoning. That is tendentious interpretation intentionally designed to produce a predetermined outcome. Philosophers call that armchair hermeneutics, that is reasoning that ignores the evidence. The Daily Trust reported Justice Moore A. Admin as predicating the nullification of Yusuf's victory on the fact of his not being a member of the NNPP when he was nominated by the party, as rightfully found. Yusuf Abba was not a member of the NNPP at the time. He was purportedly sponsored by his party and he was not qualified to contest the March governorship election, Justice Admin reportedly said. Yet, in quashing the election of APC's House of Representative member Musa Ilyasu Kwankwaso and restating NNPP's Yusuf Umar Dati as the validly elected member to represent Kano's Kura Madobi Garu Malam Federal Constituency seat, the appeal court said 2 weeks ago that the issue of membership of a political party is an internal affair which no court has jurisdiction on, according to the leadership newspaper. It is not the first time. And I say, if we continue to keep quiet, because why? You know, concern me, no be my state after all. It has happened in Imo. I think it has also happened in other states as well. If it continue to happen one day, what am I even saying? It's already happening to us as a nation now. Didn't you see what happened in the presidential election, February 25th, and how INEC came out and, ripped the whole of Nigerian electorate that came out to vote? It should not be allowed to stand. Kano people should fight back. It is not going to be easy, but at least they should fight back. All right, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come maybe next time, enjoy the rest of your day.